So the family didn't learn he was also missing. Then they pieced the threads together and came up with a position that these two people must have been abducted. So that's when they began looking for them. But the brother went missing on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Senator, my name is Vincent Afanda. I work for Radio Citizen. People could be wondering what could be the motive of abducting people who visit your office.
I think the motive is to intimidate these people and try to scare them. I hope not to eliminate them, but maybe to scare them so that they don't associate with me. But this is a space where very many young people come to do their business. So I don't know why that should be happening, but I think it's just mischief by state agencies, and I put the blame squarely at the feet of the Inspector General of Police and the Director of the DCI, Director of Criminal Investigations. They are the people charged with securing the safety of each and every person here. They have never opened an inquest. They have never debriefed any of these abducted people. And we say when it walks like a duck, swims like a duck, quacks like a duck, then it's a duck. That's the smell test of reality. And that smell test puts these things squarely at the feet of Mr. Amin and Mr. Kanja, who must be accountable. Why were they monitoring this young man? Why were they tracking him? With that heavy equipment, why were they tracking him? They must have been tracking his signal. Because you cannot explain why a vehicle can park out here and continue idling from 11 to 4, and the occupants don't step out. So the idling was basically that the engine had to run to power the system that was monitoring and picking signals on this guy. So I feel that it is not acceptable, but it will not intimidate us. It will only encourage us to know that we are going to deal with these guys in a frontal engagement, and as you know, a jet flies against the wind. The more the resistance, the easier the lift. So we are going to take the war to them by exposing whatever they do, by demanding good governance. Among other things, the good governance is that they must open mass registration of young people who have left from 4. They need ID cards. They must open the continual mass registration of voters. So we are not going to allow them to have their cake and eat it. They want.
My name is Master Simi from Daily Nation. Maybe if the list abductees are not released, is there a plan for protest and are you going to leave it?
Well, first of all, we want to work on a habeas corpus on tomorrow to see if we can get lawyers to file a habeas corpus and an order that they be released before the courts, and we hope to get an order that they be released. Number 2, we want to mount a search at the police stations within Nairobi. We have got a number of vehicles here and we want to get people to begin moving around to try and see if these people are in police custody or not. We want to check the OB registers, we want to check the cell registers to know if people have been booked in these police stations. Number 2, we are going to begin piling pressure on the state, including by looking at what measures can be taken outside the jurisdiction of Kenya with Kenya's partners to bring pressure to bear on this government to stop being a rogue government. We cannot accept that after the 2010 constitution, Kenya can be run by rogues in power. It's not acceptable. The rogues in power just have to pack and go, or they rule by the book. There's nothing else we're going to allow. There was another question down there. Yes, sir.
My name is Mike Kagwongo from TV 47. From where you sit as a senator, including other concerned senators, other report broad-based reform, what have you people done, or what are you doing as senators to address this issue of abductions?
Well, there's a motion that was filed by Senator Tobiko when the Kitengela tray went missing. That motion is before a committee, but as you know, it was overtaken by events. And the issue of abductions, I think, when the Senate resumes, has to be discussed as a matter of national agency and motion of concern, we may need to upgrade that motion to an inquiry by the Senate. But you know, the Senate is a majoritarian institution whereby things are done by the vote. Aside from that, personally, I'm doing some research based on Article 143, Clause 4 of the Constitution, which grants the President immunity, but limits that immunity not to include crimes that are done and that may be prosecuted under international treaties. Now, it doesn't say that the international treaties have to be ratified by Kenya. If it's an international treaty under those crimes can be prosecuted, then the President has got no immunity. So the next step is that Mr. Ruto to be prosecuted for the abductions. He's the commander-in-chief. He does not command chicken. He commands the armed forces of Kenya. And those armed forces of Kenya have to be able to account for what is happening. If they don't, then he has got the political responsibility to tell us who is abducting who. And so we are interrogating that article and using the international conventions that make abductions criminal, anchored by also the right to liberty in our constitution. I'm personally considering that Mr. Ruto may have to be prosecuted for these abductions and prosecuted in local courts, not internationally. We're going to prosecute him in local courts and let the chips fall where they may. These things are getting out of hand. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
My name is Alfred from Citizen TV. What is your reaction to IPOA taking up the investigation of the same?
No, IPOA has no capacity to take up this investigation. IPOA is a bunch of civilians that has had no capacity to do anything against the police. What we had was the internal affairs unit of the police, which was highly trained and highly equipped by Kenyans. They were even trained out by the FBI and what have you in the US. They were highly equipped. And you saw their power when they were able to prosecute the case of the 2 Indians who disappeared, and were able to prosecute without finding the bodies. That's how good they are. But what has happened is that all these people have been dismantled. They have been posted out. There are OCSs here. So the unit has been dismantled by the police, by those who control political power in this country. Their budgets they have been denied their budgets. They have been slashed. So the only people with the capacity to interrogate and get to the bottom of this matter were the internal affairs unit, but have been dismantled. IPOA is a bunch of civilians. You saw Hassan yesterday, looking like Moses watching the burning bush, not understanding what is going on. How can such a man come up with anything that can help us? IPOA has absolutely no capacity. It's a PR formation with absolutely no capacity to deal with police crimes. The police need to be investigated by their own police. All forces, all armed forces, have internal units that deal with drug officers. You can't get a bunch of civilians to go and interrogate an armed force. They cannot. They'll get nowhere. So the IPOA thing is just to confuse Kenyans. And secondly, IPOA deals with the mistakes of the police. Now, if Kanja says the police are not involved, why is he referring the matter to IPOA? If it's a crime that he doesn't understand, and doesn't know who's behind, the fellow to deal with it is the DCI, not IPOA. So Mr. Kanja should have gone to the DCI and asked the DCI, can you investigate this matter and get to the bottom of it? Why is he concluding that rogue police officers have committed a crime? Because when you refer matter to IPOA, it means the police have committed a crime. So Kanja is telling us that the police have committed a crime. If you have to interrogate the press statement that he gave. That's why he has taken it to give it to IPOA. Any other questions? Thank you. Thank you, and most welcome.